Welcome back. Here we are, we're in Act 6. Starting with Autumn Hills. Things are going to start to get a little bit weird now. You'll recall earlier we picked up the item roulette scroll, and I said we'd do some weird stuff with it later. Well, we will. So here, you're going to want to wait for that guy to kind of spin around down towards the bottom before you go. His hitbox, or I guess the trigger zone, is a little deceptive. So be careful and be kind of tight as you're making your way down and around that area. Here you can take your grab buoy and just kind of aim off to the right, and you'll get connected with his beams here. And we have a little puzzle here. You're just going to push out of the way, work this around, continue to push out of the way. This Arcane Moons, I believe. And just head down kind of underneath him as he passes by. Here you're going to sell your sapphire and buy the ornate bow. And continue right along. Drop the ladder and then come over here and push this. Try not to make the mistake of jumping down too early before you drop the ladder, else you'll have to go back and redo the area. And for the most part, Autumn Hills is just a pretty chill area. Some platforming. You're skipping most of the encounters here. There will be one encounter coming up here shortly. But that's pretty much it. Oh, okay. So that's a thing that can happen, I suppose. I used to hook shot across that area right there, and I'll show you what I mean. I had recently stopped hook shotting and just kind of jumping across. I used to do that, and I kind of just recently stopped doing it because I found I was like spending too much time missing the hook shot, oddly enough. But I guess there's a possibility of jumping down there, so take your pick. First fight, open this one up with a band on the default target, pull them all into the same area so that you can continue to hit them as a group with everybody else afterwards. And I don't normally do this, but I'm going to do this simply for the lock. I'm going to throw kind of an AoE on 1 or 2 dagger on each of them here. Goal here is to build up as many combo points as possible, because we want to utilize the item roulette in this fight. So I'm going to target everybody except for one target. I want one to stay alive. Yeah, so this is perfect. So we're going to start to utilize our item roulette now, and hopefully this goes our way. So the way this works is you want to land the piggy bank. In order to do that, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to aim for the rubber ducky as soon as it goes into the bottom portal. So normally I do this on the 3rd cycle of the duck going through, and that's just kind of my muscle memory, but now that I've been talking, we'll see if I can kind of land this. So rubber ducky going into the bottom portal. And so this gives you 300 gold. And if you're able to do this a couple of times, you're talking 600 gold. And if you're lucky enough to do it 3 times, 900 gold. And what this does is this sets you up for being able to buy a lot of gear once you get towards the end of the game to sort of bring yourself up to pace, because the fights are substantially more difficult now with various nerfs that have occurred since Dawn of Equinox. So the money strat is kind of like the counterbalance to that, in my eyes. It doesn't look like we're going to get another combo point here. We might, but it doesn't. I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah, so we're going to have to be conscious of this. We want at least 2 item roulettes to kind of make this strat work. 3 is kind of a bonus, but 2 is kind of the minimum to make this work, so we still need to pull 1 item roulette off somewhere. You can do this either in the Leaf Monster fight coming up, or somewhere in Clock Tower, but you have a very small window of using this move, simply because once Garl is gone from the party, the move goes with it, so you want to do this before the end of Clock Tower. We're just continuing to make our way through here. There isn't really anything much more to speak of. Skipping this encounter, you just kind of go around the bottom, climb up and make your way through. And just kind of continue to follow the path. If your movement is tight enough in this room, you can kind of just like smoothly make your way through, and it looks really cool. I've seen some other shots where you can go around the back of them. It's super risky, but also very cool looking. Wait for the first guy to head back up, and then you're kind of just free to make your way through the rest of it. Otherwise, you're going to draw his attention, and it just won't be a good time. So this next fight is another fight that I'm just not particularly all that good at. This fight I'm pretty sure you can finish in 2 cycles, but I normally will end up finishing in 3 cycles. And even if we need to use our item roulette, that kind of like works in our favor as well, because we'll just kind of have an extra turn that we don't really know what to do anything with, so. Ebb is not overly helpful in this fight as it used to be. And even Disorient doesn't quite help us out a whole lot anymore, so it's really just a matter of building your mana, doing your attacks, and then doing the most damage as possible. You can use Venom Flurry on the last phase to kind of get him back into damage phase ASAP and just finish things off, but for the most part, we're just going to do some basic attacks here and get things going. We would kick right in with a Venom Flurry, but we kind of want the live mana ready. As far as the lock goes, like, don't worry about breaking the locks so much. If you can do it, great, but don't go out of your way. You need your MP for this fight, so don't put yourself out. So this will put him into his damage phase, and it's going to reset our turn cycle here, so everybody will get a turn again. This is good. And we have 3 live mana out. So the first thing we're going to do is Moonerang with Valir. And again, I said I'm not that good at this fight, so in order to do this in 2 phases, I think the number is 285 as a minimum for what you're looking for here, but I rarely ever get anywhere near there. Perhaps it's because we're lower level or something, and 269. And for the second attack, you're going to want to use the Sunball. He's going to go back into his leaf phase, so you're going to have to do 3 more attacks to get him back in there. Again, we want the 3 mana ready for when he goes and does this. So don't worry too much about locks, just double hit, double hit, double hit. Now I'm going to make sure I do this with Garl, so that Valir is free to attack. And if you need to swap people out throughout the fight because his leaf throw is doing a lot of damage and he's picking on somebody specific, plan around that. Throw people around, swap people in and out if you have to. The last thing you want is for somebody to fall in this fight. So with really good Moonerangs, you could finish the fight here. He's still kind of clinging on a little bit, but this is good because we still need to do item roulette anyways. So this kind of works in our favor. We're going to have 2 hits, but we're really going to need 1 to kill him. So we can use that first hit once he's in his weak phase to sort of do an item roulette. So again, we want Rubber Ducky in the bottom portal. Piggy Bank gives us money. And we're good. I'm not going to bother trying to pull this off again because we need him dead. So I'm just going to Solstice Strike to finish this. I know that's going to guarantee me the damage I need to finish this out, so... And we got a whole handful of scenes here to skip. There's like 7 or 8 of them, so just keep holding your scene skip buttons, and you'll get back to gameplay in a moment. And when you do, you're going to want to hold right. You're going to be out in the overworld. You're going to want to head up and towards the grotto, which is kind of like this little hidden area. Sorry, Bamboo Creek. And there's a chest here with a sword for Zale, and you're immediately leaving. And on to Songshroom Marsh. We'll equip that sword now, so that we don't forget about it. Bamboo Slicer. And Songshroom Marsh is just very chill. There are no encounters here if you're kind of just plucking away nicely. So along the bottom here, just past those guys. And up here, you're going to head north this time. And right across through. You can jump from the top of the ladder here. Save yourself from having to go down. And just climb up the platform over here. Wait for this guy to turn back. And you're just kind of making your way across. And once you've done this path a couple times, you'll just become very familiar with it. Since the Dawn of Equinox update, they've actually cut Songshroom Marsh short, so it's much shorter than it used to be. New piece of equipment here, Spirit of the Ninja. Go ahead and equip that on Valir, and put your Solstice Mage Ring on Zale. Kind of swap things around a bit. Cornucopia is best placed on Rashawn, in my opinion. He's going to get thrown around into a number of different parties kind of later in the game, and in order to just kind of keep that Cornucopia active on everybody, it's just best to keep it on him. And so we did the money trick. You don't overly need to pick up this chest because it is a money sellable, but like it's not too far out of the way, so go ahead and grab that. Every little bit does count. And here you're going to want to turn to nighttime. And you're going to want to make your way up and just kind of across this mushroom. Now, previously, in the pre-update, you used to be able to climb the side of that mushroom without having to go up top, but it doesn't seem like you can do that anymore, so do it the intended way. You'll want to move the beam to the right here, because you kind of want it to follow the same path that you're walking through as you walk through. Once you get here, though, turn it back and jump through. Here, cut down diagonally. If it's a little tight or like the timing is off and he's kind of in your way, go up and around if you have to, but for the most part you should just be able to cut straight down and through to the exit. We're going to come up in here. There is a little scene that we'll skip. And then we're going to hold south, down, head back out. And this is kind of new item placement. You can jump across the river. This is kind of like a safety thing. There's some shroomy shivs for Sarai here if you want to update her daggers. And it's really not too far out of the way there. So feel free to pick those up and grab those. And once you come through the door here, previously due to the update, there was another section to kind of go through. But that's all been removed now. So that's it. Songshroom Marsh is over. And we head now to kind of the pivotal halfway mark of the run, in a way. We're going to have a very dangerous fight coming up. Once you see the cactus, go ahead and hook shot. That's kind of like the perfect distance to hit the wall. And just be kind of quick about running up here, hitting this switch, and then running back down to the door. You can get hit by his rock barrage if you're a little sloppy in your movement. Just go along the top, but pause at each step. And so, at this point here, as you're learning the run, you may want to take a safety save here. If you die in this next fight, you lose about 4 minutes of time, based from where it sort of puts you back in until you get up to the point and do the fight again. So you lose quite a bit of time if you end up dying in this next fight. Before you go ahead into this next fight, you're going to want to do a big gear adjustment. So for the longest time, we left the arcane amulet here on Garl. It wasn't really important to us. And when we picked it up, I kind of said, like, it's important for a few fights later on, but like that's about it. So at this point, you're going to take that off. That's going to go on Valir. Reason being, Erlina's magic damage in the next fight hurts Valir a lot. And this magic damage plus magic defense plus 10 really makes a big difference. So I highly advise this accessory solely for not dying in this fight. It's really a big lifesaver in a lot of instances. So go ahead, put that on her. She's going to get a power belt to go with that. We're going to go dexterous and power belt on Zale because they're both of our combatants in this next fight. So we want to give them as much power as possible. Sarai is going to get the Signet and a green leaf, and that's kind of what she's going to stick with for a little while now. Roshan can have the Enchanted Scarf because it's a magic attack boost, and he's primarily magic attack based. And then you can give him the green leaf as well. And you're good. Arcane Amulet for defense on Valir, Power Belt, Dexterous Bangle on Zale, and Power Belt for attack. So those are kind of like the key points there. Even though the Cornucopia is on Roshan, they will continue to get the HP boost for this fight. Opening up, Brughaves has two sets of locks he can do here. It's either the Solstice Strike lock or it's a Dash Strike, like a Sun and Sword combination. So I kind of like to go with Dash Strike regardless of what ends up happening first, just for consistency. And if you have Solstice Strike available, you can go ahead with it. Now, what I recommend is to hold off because Erlina is going to throw a 4-lock combination on the next turn more often than not. And Solstice Strike can be very helpful for that. So if we don't have... Previous to the update, you would have used some of the locks she has to be able to boost your combo for that, but you probably don't have to worry about that anymore. I'm just going to attack for this turn just to kind of demonstrate how that would have normally played out. Right, so she has the 4 locks coming up, and so Solstice Strike would be really helpful at this point to be able to break that. Now, it is 2 turn, so try not to waste if you don't have to. Similar to 1 and 3 and 2 and 4 fights, you're placing all of your focus on one person and one person only. So even with something like this, at this point you really want to start busting out Solstice Strikes because they do a lot of damage to Erlina. And it's your best way to kind of end this fight as soon as possible. Now, this is kind of an unbreakable one for us here, so this looks a little dangerous. We're gonna risk it. Normally this is not the fight that you would be risking things for. With the Arcane Amulet on Valeer, it is again a very much a powerful device for keeping her alive. And so you can kind of rely on it a little bit for being risky. But ideally you want to Solstice Strike as much as possible on Erlina. Boost it if you can, and just try to get her out of the fight as quickly as possible. Now, this is kind of dangerous. This is another one of those instances of, like, do you want to risk it? I don't want to risk it, because even if he AoEs on both of us afterwards, there's a chance that we don't live, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to heal Zale at this point. And Valeer probably was the smarter choice, since she has the Arcane Amulet. Oh, this is really bad. They really want me dead. Okay, so Erlina's going to extend the fight a little bit. And you know, sometimes you just kind of get stuck in these scenarios. The big thing is that you don't die. It's really, you really just, at all costs, do not die in this fight. If she ends up extending the fight a little bit there, like, you kind of just have to deal with that. Oh, they're being very mean. They're just being very mean here, so again, I just need to stay alive. That Arcane Amulet coming to play. Okay, this is okay. I feel okay risking this. So, just, again, don't die. I don't want to say take your time, but take all precautions you can to stay alive. And similar to the 1 in 3 fight, once one is down, the other one goes down to one hit. So, play it out like a game of chess if you have to. Sometimes the fight goes amazing, sometimes it's just a nightmare. If you can quickly grab peaches, feel free to. They're worth a good amount of money. And once you get inside, you're going to use your off character, meaning like your non-Valeer or Zale character, to break the locks on this guy, whether it be bash or poison. And then you're going to go ahead and take a Crescent Strike here. A double boost Crescent Strike. This one is Sunball. And no attack related, so we'll take mana. We'll take HP here, simply because it's Garl. He is our tanky boy. We'll take magic attack. Magic attack. And MP. Didn't really touch on this, but my understanding is that Roshan's normal attack is magic based, so physical attack just actually is kind of a useless stat for him entirely, so just don't focus on it. Roshan is good for double breaking poison locks with his 2 bottles, and if you boost it, it can break an arcane lock as well. Crescent Strike boosted. And then finish off this guy. Do an additional attack, and then give yourself a boosted Solstice Strike. Because we still do need to do a item roulette, there is one fight on the 2nd floor or 3rd floor that we will be doing, and that is primarily the fight that I will normally clean up the item roulette on if I need to. Although we did 2 of them at this point, so we are good. 3 would just be a bonus. In this next room, jump down from the platform here and kind of loop-de-loop these guys around. Until you can hookshot your way over to the ladder. In here, you're going to hit both switches and then push to the left, down, and right. And then up to the center. It's going to open up some stairs here. And try to grab these hook shots on the wall kind of as you're moving over. And just smoothly continue with the puzzle. When you get back down, push it over to the left, and then grab this. Push this over to the right, and the switch will drop the wall in front of both doors so that you can push both of those blocks in. And here you're going to run up and you're going to talk to Caius, and he will put you in the next area. Now, kind of hook shot from a distance if you can eyeball it, and then hook shot to the ladder. Once you hit this platform here with your foot, feel free to hook shot. And we're going up. Here you're going to have 2 platforms. We're going to the right side, so hit the right platform and just move on over here. And in this next room, think of kind of like a figure 8 pattern almost. Even if both enemies aren't chasing you, normally doing kind of like a figure 8 up to the 3rd lever and then back down and over to the 1st lever is kind of like, feels like an optimal way of moving through the room and keeping things smooth. Now this guy looks upset. That was a little scary. Hit the up switch and then come over to the left side. Be ready to go over once it's open. And this is the fight I was mentioning where we're going to clean up an item roulette if you have to. And I've done it twice, so I don't think I'm going to bother doing it here. We'll take a boosted sunball on the bottom guy so that it splashes off to the center. And you could have campfired in the room with the kids earlier. I kind of just blew right past it, but there is a campfire area, kind of like where the stove is. And so again, I guess if you really wanted to, you could take this opportunity to item roulette again. Doing 3 will give you like the maximum amount of money that you can get out of this. And the big difference between doing it 2 times and 3 times really is just being able to buy an additional piece of armor, and that will be 1 for best. And then being able to buy a few additional Pandores, which will give you more MP party heals. So you can splurge a little bit more and go a little heavier with your MP, I guess, if you do the 3 route. But 2 is kind of more than enough to get by and finish a run. So in here, you're just doing another little puzzle. You're kind of pushing this block with a ladder around all over the room. And when it gets to its final position, you can usually just hookshot over as a short little shortcut, we'll say. So with that done, exit and go up and around the north side here. You can either hit the switch now or hit it later. You're going to have to hit it, so it doesn't matter if you do it now or later. And once you get up over here, you can jump immediately down. As far as those like pulley switches go, you kind of just have to mash the button until it's done. It used to be like kind of 2 or 3 or 4, and now it's kind of all over the place. Picking up an accessory there before we kind of complete this little puzzle. Reason being is just if you grab it and then just you can immediately exit immediately kind of after pulling the switch. So no sense aggroing or getting the enemies activated until after you've picked up the accessory. And that one would have been the blue leaf, if I'm not mistaken. You're going to come up in here and talk to the clockmaker and just kind of skip the scene. Head back down. And we'll talk again, skip the scene. Take this opportunity to use the campfire. Rest up. We got a big fight coming up. So this next fight is 1, 2, 3, and 4 all at the same time. This fight is, you may remember this fight as being very scary in the casual game. This was a very challenging fight. Thankfully, this fight runs on a script in the run, and you can do essentially the exact same thing every single time. As long as you're careful about who is taking damage and swapping your characters out appropriately so that like people don't die, and that you're able to stay on the script, this fight is 100% consistent. So we're going to start out with Rashawn. I'm going to swap Valir out because she is an important character right now, and we don't want her dying. Zale can kind of hang in there for the time being. First thing we're going to do is we're going to attack with Rashawn. This is for lock purposes. We're going to break these 2 poison locks, so time this a hit. And then you're going to swap to Sarai and do a disorient. This mainly just gives you the opportunity to be able to reset your turn cycle and get access to appropriate characters to be able to finish the set of locks. It kind of just sets things up in a way that you want. You probably could do it without, but for the purposes of staying to the script, you also want to boost ultimate when you're doing that, so kind of stick to doing disorient there, even after the update. We're going to swap Zale in, and we're going to do a dash strike. And because Sarai is very low in HP, you're going to want to swap her out. And to finish these set of locks off, we're going to do a Moonerang here. Next, you're going to want Sarai to do a Venom Flurry. And this could be kind of dangerous because we can see that there is going to be an attack occurring immediately after this. And I know that's a V attack. So it seems because Valir has already been used, no matter where I put Sarai right now, she's going to die after this attack. So what I think I'm going to do instead is I'm going to swap her attack with... Oh no, this doesn't work either. We're just going to go ahead and commit to it. She will end up dying from this next move, and there's really not a whole lot we can do about that. It's kind of unfortunate. Oh, she's not dead. This is amazing. Okay, so we're going to bring Roshan in, and we're going to do Petrichor, because that is exactly what's next in the script. And this is a great opportunity to heal anybody who's really low on HP. The main purpose of Petrichor is to help boost the ultimate bar, because what we're really working towards right now is for Roshan to be able to do his ultimate move. We're going to next bring in Zale and do an X-Strike, and we're going to boost that X-Strike because normally you would have boosted the Moonerang, but it didn't do that, so this is going to be our like kind of next more powerful thing. We're going to go ahead and boost that instead. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the Disorient here. This is part of the script, and I'm also going to pick to do it on this guy to break these locks here. If he didn't have locks up, I probably would have picked the big heavy guy, since his normal attack does so much. But you'll see now we have our ultimate meter ready. Now, when we get our turn back here with Roshan, we're just going to go ultimate. And this will, for the most part, finish out the fight for us. The guy on the far right will remain standing, but we'll be able to one-tap him afterwards. Well, the guy on the left stood standing too. That's very unlike him. We'll just one-tap both of them and be out of here. So for the most part, this fight is very much on a script that you can follow. The main goal here is to just not let people die and swap them out as needed. Moving right along now, we're very quickly approaching another boss fight, and this fight has changed quite a bit since the Dawn of Equinox update. It's a very frustrating fight now. I'm actually going to stop and buy 2 peach strudels. One, because I item roulette 3 times and I have a lot of money. And 2, because this fight is very frustrating, as I said. Something that I didn't do that you can do is taking the Signet off of Sarai and putting it on Valir for this fight, because you need to utilize MP so much in this fight, and every time that you do an MP charged attack or mana charged attack, it does damage towards the boss, or I guess it helps, you know, facilitate approaching damage towards the boss. You really want to have that ability to use MP as much as possible. So Signet of Clarity is a really good choice on Valir in this fight, if you can recall it. Now, without boost, you can't do anything about these opening locks. And so even if you disorient, it really doesn't help your purpose. You could, for the purposes of trying to reduce the damage that's going to occur on this, try to break some of these locks, but he's likely going to get this attack off on you no matter what. And so because of that, you know, one of your characters is probably going to die. Try to just hang in there and get past these initial few attacks until people are up and going, and then start hammering away and doing the MP attacks that you need to do. Healing Light does apply as charging the cannon, so feel free to utilize Healing Light to keep your party members topped up while still like working towards the end goal. And with Sarai, she's just going to be your live mana booster for the most part here. Continue to use up your MP until you don't have any left, and then start using the live mana to charge your attacks so that you can gain MP while continuing to charge the cannon. When you start to see these locks later in the fight, they're normally Solstice Strike locks, so go ahead and analyze the proper element that you need to use and knock those out. Ultimately, in this fight, you're looking to fire off a clip laser 3 times. It takes 6 magic attacks to charge the laser, so 18 in total is what you're looking for. And there's really not a whole lot more to say about this fight, so we'll just continue plucking away here. You can do some counting in your head so that you can plan out appropriately. We used to use Mending Light in the past to do like a double charge on the cannon, but now that Mending Light costs 3, it really doesn't seem all that worth it. And I'm not going to be able to do anything about that. Should have boosted that. So this fight is actually, believe it or not, this fight is really easy to just mess up entirely. You'd think for such a simple fight, there's really not a whole lot to it, but this one, in my opinion, requires a lot of focus to be able to optimize properly. Perfect character. If anyone was to go down. Alright, that should be it, right? I mean, that should be it, right? Yeah, it's very easy to lose a lot of time in this fight. So, this one oddly requires a lot of focus, in my opinion. Once this ends, you're just going to run over to the right, and you're going to kind of get like a phase 2 with him, but it only lasts 2 turns long, usually. He's going to kill one character, and then when it would be the time that he would attack the next character, that's kind of when the fight ends. And after this, you're going to get thrown back up to the mountain here. You're going to talk and select Kukar. And you're going to go directly south. There'll be a couple islands kind of off to your right-hand side here, and it's the southern island that you're looking for. And once the scene ends, you can head up north here and come across, and this will bring us up to the Cloud Kingdom. And I think that is where we will mark the end of Act 6. Act 7 will begin with our partying sort of breaking up into different groups and going off to these different sections. So I think we'll call Act 6 right here. We'll see you in the next one over in Act 7.